Hey YouTube, this morning we put a story up on our Instagram asking you to please ask us all your questions about social media and Instagram. I'm going to go through all of them right now and answer each one of them. Okay, first question. Genius G asks, how can I grow my following through pictures and posts? Is there a structure to it? In the past, you could grow through posting viral videos, through posting viral photos. But nowadays, Instagram's algorithm has made it a lot more difficult to grow that method. What we've seen work is once you have a strong foundation of content, you find ways to drive traffic to your profile to engage followers and convert a new portion of your audience. The Homie Nader the Creator asks, what is the single hardest part about growing your social media? Consistency and finding new ways to play around the algorithm. You don't want to stay stuck with methods that used to work. Boxboy asks, how to grow in social media? You ask Boxboy. The living legend, Mike Chandler MMA asks, do you prefer these ask a questions or bring people on the IG Live? Thanks, man. I think that asking a question and then responding through stories is more powerful because you can put so much more emphasis into every single answer. Even though there is a cool essence of live, right? Because it only happens once. So you give that environment of exclusivity / a more intimate setting. So both are good. Harrison T. James asks, how many times a day should I post? It's really up to you, as long as it's really good and high quality content. Jess and I like to post around once a week, and that's what we also recommend to all of our clients. But it's tricky though, because as businesses, our content isn't as shareable as other forms of content. So posting more actually doesn't drive growth. The way that you do drive growth still by posting is by giving and sharing very valuable content. Perfect example is Gary Vee, because he uses these longer form IGTV videos that give extensive amount of knowledge every single time. All these videos are always shared, they're always reposted, people always tag their friends in it. It's just that kind of content that gives so much value, and that's its purpose. That's the kind of content that if you post frequently, you can grow steadily. Dr. Gabe Rosenthal asks, do hashtags work to grow a page? What's the best way to take advantage of the algorithm? Hashtags used to work, but now organic impressions from hashtags is a lot lower than it used to be. So hashtags are not that important anymore. Right now, Instagram is going towards more of an ad platform, and so they're trying to leverage IGTV as well as carousel posts, because in the future, that's where they'll insert their ads. Cynthia Tamayo asks, how can you engage with your followers more? By asking questions, seeing what they want, and then directly answering their own questions. I think people who are aware of social media's power can really leverage it to take them to crazy places in life that someone who was born, let's say, 4 decades ago wouldn't have the ability to take advantage of. So for example, now if you created a business with $0, you can put in the time and you can put in that energy to create these audiences in each of your social media platforms at such a quick pace. In the past, you would have to go on the street and give out flyers and talk to thousands of people every day, one-on-one. Now with social media, you can create a piece of content, spread. Basically, social media can expedite and speed up every single thing that you've already been doing. Mr. Antonio asks, how can I attract more audience to my posts? Figure out what niche you're in. Let's say you're an art page. Find another art page and start engaging with the people that already engaged with that larger page. You want to do that because the people that are already engaged. So if they're commenting on someone else's page, they're more than likely to comment on your page if you begin a relationship and begin a conversation. Suavemente at Daniel Madrano asks, how can I protect my account from being compromised? If you go into your settings in Instagram, there's something that you can turn on called two-factor authentication. So in a way, that's if you log in from another phone, your first initial phone gets a text, and in that text is a code, and then you put that code into the new device. That way, there's 2 ways that you have to authorize yourself when you log in. Jeffo asks, how to stay relevant? You follow what Jeffo does. But on a serious note, always know who you are fundamentally. At the same time, observe trends and things that are going around in this space. Always find a way to merge the two. That's how you always stay relevant with social media and with yourself. At Nick Franchik LA asks, what are the most ideal times to post in the day to get the most engagement? Now it really all depends. It depends on what your audience is based in, and also what works for you. So there's a way that you can actually go into your phone and take a look at when your audience is most active. You want to time your post so it's right before that uptick. At the Shubham Kumar 001 asks, how increase engagement? By increasing your engagement with others. If you start commenting and liking on other people's profiles, they will more than likely do the same with you. Just like in real life and networking and building relationships, sometimes you have to do the first action to start that. At Cynthia Tamayo asked another question. How do you get your name or brand out there more? Hashtags, tags? The best way to get your brand out there is to work and collaborate with other brands. Figure out brands that make sense when it comes to partnering, and figure out ways that you can create content or create partnerships together. Think about it like this. Think about like a minnow and a shark, a symbiotic relationship. The shark is already going fast and is already going this way. As a minnow, you have to figure out how you can give the shark value so you can go along for the ride. Dr. Gabe Rosenthal asks another question. How does a micro-influencer take a leap to the next level? Well, as a micro-influencer, you're already in a good place. And I think a micro-influencer is defined by 5K to 100K. So I think you're in this range because you're at like 65K right now. I think the biggest thing is really understanding where your place is in the market. What do you offer? What is the value that you bring to the table? Like what Dr. Gabe does really well is that he makes his page very intimate, and he brings in all these large-scale influencers and works on their teeth for them. So that is your value. That is the value that you bring to the table. Really understand that and just be more and more consistent with it. At Vincenzo Antonio Petron asks, how to boost your followers legitimately? I've tried so many Instagram ways, but no results. The best way to boost your Instagram followers organically is to collaborate with other creators. Find people that are in your niche that make similar content to what you make or want to make, and then figure out how you can give them value. That way they can give you exposure and you can provide something that gives value to them. At Bartik_frac02 asks, how to maximize social media and Instagram to drive traffic through the door of a restaurant. So Bartik is one of the owners of the amazing Glowing Juices in Los Angeles. And we talk all the time about how to drive in new customers into his restaurant or his vegan market. What they do really well is that they're able to really create and build relationships with all of their customers. Therefore, when a customer gets into the door, it's kind of game over because they build these amazing relationships with every single one that a new customer turns into a recurring customer every time. So to answer your question, look at other restaurants that are in your niche. So if you're a vegan restaurant, find other vegan restaurants in the same area as you. Then you go to one of their posts and you view who actually organically engages with the post. Reach out to that person on a one-to-one level and create and build a relationship there. Put it bluntly, you want to go to your competitors' profiles or social media platforms and speak to their customers because you are the best in town, right? At Orlando Jega asks, do you think that growing on Instagram has become more about paying than being innovative? I think now Instagram is a lot more saturated than it used to be. And in the past, you could get more exposure and more attention organically. Now to really stand out and to beat the crowd, you do have to pay. This is very similar to how Google AdWords first started, but it's still very early in the game. All these Instagram ads when it comes to posts and stories are extremely undervalued to how much they will be in a couple years. At Chef Josh Johns asks, how to connect with influencers that may have a bigger following than you. Someone's following is only a portion of what they do, of their business. There are many other variables that are important to every single person in the world. Just like in real life, someone who might have more experience than you might be able to give them something that they need. For example, if you were just a new chef starting out, like 3 years ago, you would have a lot of time. You didn't have a lot of experience, but you had time. And time is very important for these people. To answer your question, figure out the value that you can give someone here, and then understand what kind of value you want from them. So how to get more followers? You do have to run ads nowadays. Run them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or talk to large-scale meme pages. Verification is tricky because there are many black market ways that you can go about getting the blue check, but the method that has worked well for our clients is that you get around 4 to 6 legitimate pieces of press. Make sure your real name is in the headline of the press. So this is Forbes, BuzzFeed, Business Insider, large-scale articles like that. And once you have your name in those articles, make sure your name is the same in your Instagram bio. At that point, you can request verification actually through Instagram. This is what you really have to remember. Instagram gives the blue check not for the influencer or for the person. They actually give the blue check for the people to actually know who to trust and listen to when they're searching for a particular person or business. This is my cat. Meow. At tchan079 asks, how much social media is too much? Play up. How much social media is too much social media? Make sure you use social media and social media does not use you. What I mean by that is have a purpose when you're on these social media platforms. If it's completely for leisure and to just, be a vegetable on the couch, that's completely okay. Do you? You'd be watching TV or playing video games anyway. However, don't just mindlessly scroll for hours in a single day. Figure out ways that you want to improve your personal life or your business and reach out to people that are experts in the field that can help you in that area. I know you love basketball. There's a lot of great trainers on Instagram that you can DM directly that they would love to give you drills, expertise, jumping mechanics, shooting mechanics, dribbling, everything. At JustinShu_ asks, how did your life change after your rise to fame? Cool emoji, pros and cons. Lol. At Harrison T. James asks, how can I work for S big influencer? It depends. What do you want to do for the influencer? You gotta know that first. But again, figure out what they need. Figure out some way that you could give them value. For example, that influencer, in this case, I'm guessing that you're thinking about a content creator who has a large following. They probably need an editor. They probably need a videographer. They probably need other characters in their skits or their films or whatever. So figure out what they need and where you can fill those spots. Antonio asks, what are some strategies you use to express ideas through photo and caption? It's tricky because not everybody reads the caption. So sometimes the photo has to be awesome by itself. And after that, some people filter down and go to the caption. What I've seen work well is that you have the photo first, and then through the photo and just looking at it, you figure out what you want to say about the photo or what you're imagining. If you want to flip it in reverse too, you can think of a story or an idea you want to communicate to your audience and then find ways to create a creative that surrounds that. At Annie P. Stock asks, what is your favorite strategy for growing on Instagram in 2019? The first is finding ways that you can collaborate with other creators so you can leverage each other's audience. The second is creating a very engaging commercial or a post that you put on your Instagram. Once you've tested it on multiple pages and seen that it engages with your potential audience, you can funnel money into it and promote it to people that potentially would be interested in what you're talking about and in the value you give. At the Leo Trajano asks, what's one of the best tips to increase engagement on your Instagram page? To engage with other pages in your similar niche. If you like and comment their material, they're more than likely to do the same to yours. At Daniel Madrano asks, how can I grow my following organically without being flagged? Organically, we've already addressed all those answers, and without being flagged, I guess the only thing to say is don't go and buy fake followers or don't go and buy bots, because Instagram will flag those types of accounts, and if they're flagged, it's really hard to grow organically. At _Claudia Witt asks, in 3 words, how would you describe good content? That's tricky. I would say valuable, entertaining, and irreplaceable. At I'm Bladden asks, what is the best suggestion on growing your account? Figure out strategies that you want to test and test them. Find the ones that work, do more of that. The ones that don't work, replace them with new strategies. It's a consistent process and a consistent iteration on the game. If growth is your only concern, figure out ways that you can create content that is extremely shareable. Another example is someone who's in the fitness space, who is an expert in their craft, who has done, let's say, CrossFit for 20 years and has a plethora of knowledge to give. Because they give so much knowledge when it comes to CrossFit, like recovery, workout routines, nutrition, whatever it is, people who are their audience, who are also interested in CrossFit, will be able to learn about that space more and share that content with other people that are also interested in CrossFit. At PeteBoy2040 says promo. There's a few great questions that were asked after this video was recorded. Here are the answers. By using the merge, push, and pull method, creating great content and then driving traffic for people to see that content. Because you're not improving your content and more people are saturating Instagram. For most people, you should have a business outside of Instagram, and then you use Instagram or social media to help you leverage and gain exposure towards that business. It's a contact sport. Find other prospects or people that you think need your service and then reach out to those companies because you know they need some help. Find a niche you want to target, then find companies within that niche. DM every single company within that niche for 10 days straight. Once again, you should have a business outside of social media. Social media should drive traffic and give your business exposure. Your business is what makes money. Social media does not. Yes. I didn't want to make this video too long, so I answered the questions that I thought would give the most value to you. If you have any other questions or any other questions on the answers that we gave, please comment them below, and Jess and I will individually go through each one and answer them. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Press that subscribe button if you want all your dreams to come true. That is, if your dream is to watch more YouTube videos.